Fíjense bien, vamos a traerles un invitado importante e interesante, porque no solamente es donde se encuentra el día de hoy, sino lo que él ha venido haciendo, y por eso traté de ponerme en contacto con él para traerlo. Su nombre es Caleb Silver. Él es el editor, para que ustedes tengan una idea, de una página de referencia para todos los que queremos aprender del mercado, que se llama Investopedia. Pero lo interesante de Caleb es que él trabajó en CNN, en la parte justamente que tenía que ver con un canal de televisión o con un ambiente importante de dinero en la televisión. Le vamos a preguntar su experiencia allí, y además cuando estuvimos viendo lo que hace Caleb, I know, Caleb, that you are listening to me all crazy en español, but I'll go with you in a moment.
No entiendo todo.
Caleb, pues, perfecto. Fundamentalmente es que ha estado muy activo haciendo algún tipo de apariciones con respecto a lo que él piensa del mercado, y ese primer aspecto fundamental que hay con los que quieren aprender. Entonces le vamos a dar paso, le vamos a dar las gracias. Indudablemente la primera pregunta es, ¿cuál es la magnitud de lo que están haciendo allí, obviamente en esa compañía? Y después vamos a pasar a hablar algunas cosas importantes que tienen que ver con el mercado. Caleb, thank you for coming. We're super happy to have you here at Negocios TV. So the first question is obviously, what are you guys doing in Investopedia to try to help more and more people willing and needed to understand about finance, capital markets, and so on? Thank you.
Gracias por invitarme. Voy a hablar en inglés, pero entiendo todo en español, pero no hablo mucho. But thank you very much for having me. And what we're doing is answering a lot of questions. We have 40,000 articles on Investopedia and documents. Some of those are explainers. Some of those are news articles. Some of those are Q&A or FAQ type questions. And people are asking all types of questions like right now, like what is the impact of a tariff war on my portfolio? What is the impact of a recession on my portfolio or my 401k? What should I do with my investments if we tip into a recession because of these tariffs causing more inflation? So a lot of questions about what is happening, and now what should I do based on what is happening to protect my investments and to protect my household finances.
Listen, and in the other corner, I know you've been seen pretty active with podcasts and appearances on TV. I have to ask you, what do you think about the tariff? What do you think about the state of the economy? We don't know, Caleb. We were speaking with Jim Bianco a few minutes ago before you come into the program, and obviously he's a great global macro guy. He was telling us about all the opportunities and risks that he sees in the economy. But I want to ask you, because obviously this is something that is extremely important for America and for the world, and I want your opinion, among other things we would like to discuss with you today. What do you think?
I think we're in a very precarious time right now. There is a lot of uncertainty about tariffs because the messaging and the policy has been very uncertain, right? We don't know who to believe, what to believe. Every day brings a new narrative, a new headline, and it's a very headline-driven stock market, but it's also disrupting and dislocating not just the United States economy, but the global economy. Now, that might be the intention of the Trump administration. They're trying to transform the American economy, right, and make it much more American-made. They want to domicile more companies here. They want companies that want to operate here to pay higher tariffs and pay for the privilege of serving the United States consumer. And that is dislocating the economy because for the past 30 years or so, we've been a globalized economy. And why are we a globalized economy? Well, because profit margins are better when you can make parts cheaper and get products made cheaper in other places where you don't have to pay as high labor costs, where you don't have the healthcare costs. If you can get products cheaper, it's going to improve your margins. And make no mistake about it, this is a shareholder-driven type of capitalism where companies, and you were just speaking about many of them, have to report results on a quarterly basis. They have to continue to improve their bottom lines. They have to continue to grow their profits. That's the deal. We're investing in the future profitability of these countries. And now this tariff policy, it's uncertain, right? It changes day by day, but it is disrupting that profit mechanism. And that's why you've seen the big sell-off in the market. And that's why you see a growing drumbeat about potentially going from stagflation where we are now into a potential recession.
Let me ask you something, Caleb. When you see those type of crisis coming to a reality, you know, we have the COVID crisis, and you've been with Investopedia. I was checking your LinkedIn page. You've been with Investopedia since 2016. In your opinion, every time you see peaks in crisis and fear losing jobs, more and more people are visiting those articles and solutions that you have on Investopedia. And if that's the case, have you been doing anything in Espanol? Because obviously you are a reference out there. I don't know if you have any communication with other outlets. We're always very eager to educate while we entertain and inform the audience. But I want your opinion on that potential pattern, and what are you doing for the people that speak Espanol, please?
Yeah, it's a great question, and not enough. To be frank with you, we're not doing enough for Spanish language visitors or for people from other countries. We've been an English language website for a while. I will say that Google Translate works very well on our website. So any article, I've actually tested it, works extremely well for the most part if you're using Google Translate into Spanish or any other language. But we need to be doing more. That said, we have our hands full just keeping up with the traffic right now, and we have a lot of articles. We've been here since 1999. Our website is 25 years old, which is like 250 years on the internet. We've been here a long time, and we're a reference site where people come sometimes read the same article twice. They'll read a definition, they'll go from a definition into how-to. So a lot of people are looking up what is a trade war, what is the impact of a trade war on inflation, what stocks do better in a trade war, what other areas outside the United States are stock markets performing well. And if you actually looked at it right now, you'd be very surprised to see the best performing stock markets in the world. They're definitely not here in the United States. You have many of them in Europe right now and many in Latin America. So we got to do more in Spanish, but right now we're just busy trying to handle the traffic, handle all the new questions coming into our site, making sure that our articles and our definitions and our explainers are updated with the latest information, because people are coming in right now because they're worried. And when people are worried, they want to learn, they want to educate themselves, and then they want to take action. So our job is to make sure we have the right information and then give them the right steps if they want to take action.
Listen, and I'm very happy that you guys have that attitude towards the people that are always looking for answers. And as you mentioned, they are looking from the trade wars, opportunities, and so on. That leads me to my next question, which is, and I always ask people like you what they think out of curiosity, but I'm seeing a more and more appetite towards that. And basically within the next few weeks, within the last few weeks, we've been seeing the gold going up. But I want to ask you about the Bitcoin, the digital assets, because obviously, you know, the millennials and the new generations are always seeing those attractive opportunities in those type of digital assets. I want your opinion on the Bitcoin, and specifically, what do you think about it? And obviously, we cannot argue anymore that it's just something that comes and goes. You see that now that it's close to 100,000. I think it's in 96 today, and probably will go higher. So I want to hear what Collect Silver is thinking about the Bitcoin in this case.
Well, full disclosure, I own some Bitcoin because I want to be exposed to that asset class. I want to learn about it. I want to learn how it works, and then I want to learn how it fits into my portfolio. But right now, what's very interesting is Bitcoin is kind of a mature asset if you think about it. It didn't just get here. It's been around for over 14 or 15 years, even more than that potentially. So when you think about it, it used to be what we would call a non-correlated asset, right? If stocks went were going down, Bitcoin might be going up because you know, people might want to be in the safety of something that isn't tied to the capital markets. You know, when bond prices are going up, you know, you're used to seeing Bitcoin maybe potentially go down. But now we've seen that it's very much a risk-on asset, treated very much like stocks, very much like tech stocks. So when risk is on, when the risk-on mentality is there in the stock market, like it's been for the past few weeks as the tariff war has softened a little bit, you've seen Bitcoin rise off that bottom, off that floor that it was on, near around $80,000. So right now it's trading very much like a hot tech stock. The thing about Bitcoin, though, is that it's now become an institutional asset. You can get it in your 401k. You can get an ETF, an exchange-traded fund that tracks the price of Bitcoin right now. You see companies like Fidelity using it, MasterCard is using it, and it has a scarcity issue, right? There's only ever going to be 21 million odd Bitcoins ever ever mined, and we're at around 19.4, 19.8 maybe million. They get harder to mine as you get closer to the end. The more scarce it gets, though, the higher the price, and the more adoption you see by institutional investors, not me, you, and your viewers, but institutional investors. I'm talking about, you know, the big retirement funds and the big asset managers. They're starting to adopt it now, and this administration is very friendly to crypto. We'll soon be seeing it in our 401ks. I think the price can only go higher eventually just because it has a scarcity issue and there's more demand.
Listen, we want to keep inviting you because obviously you are a reference in education. Not only that, you have a huge, important brand name, and as you mentioned, from 1990 now till today, it's like a quarter of let's say a millennium in the internet era. But now you got to tell me something in Espanol to finish the interview because you speak a little bit Espanol. So anything you want to tell us to all the Spanish-speaking people, because it's very interesting and important when somebody like you try at least to pronounce something in Espanol.
Yeah, no, I have some expressions that we use very frequently that I want to make sure that I get across in Spanish. And el primero es, las preguntas más importantes en la planificación financiera son cuánto cuesta ser tú y cuánto costará ser quien quieres ser en el futuro, right? Una vez que conoces esas cifras, Sichuan se vuelve menos intimidante y podrás construir tu camino financiero for the long term, right? You have to know how much it costs to be you and how much it costs to be the you want to be. And we also say all the time, nos gusta decir que el mejor día para empezar a invertir fue ayer, el siguiente mejor día es hoy. So even in a scary market, even when it's volatile right now, especially if you're young and you have a long-term time horizon, the best day to start investing was yesterday. The sooner you start, the more you can take advantage of compounding. And compounding is the magic of the stock market. So I want to make sure people understand that, especially those that are maybe a little bit intimidated by investing. It's easy, easier than ever to learn. You don't need $1,000, 10,000, 20,000. You need $50 to start investing, and you should start as soon as possible. And Investopedia is a great resource para to aprender cómo empezar and then how to grow as an investor for the long term. I did my best.
Got it. You did know your best. You did excellent. And listen, I'm very happy for you to come to our program. We want to keep inviting you because we always, like any other major TV outlets, we bring the same people so we can revisit the state of the economy. So now you have another potential stakeholder and player on us to help Investopedia. And thank you very much. And let's see what happened with all these, the second Trump administration and the interest rate and Powell and everything, okay?
Sí, hang in there. Y gracias por invitarme.
Thank you. Que tenga un buen día. Muchas gracias.
Igualmente.